One more try? Why not? Okay, we finished it. Each shift, a crowd of would-be workers gathered outside the shipyard, each of them clinging to a 4-digit number printed on a receipt paper. These are their assignment numbers, and you are either called for a shift or you aren't. As you arrive, the crowd is restless, and chatter rumbles through the lines. For those who, like you, have graduated to work teams, shifts are guaranteed. Having just walked out of a meeting with a supervisor where you were praised for your efforts, you feel the glow of a job well done. Yet, you can't help but feel empathy for those huddled as you pass, waiting for their number to come up. You keep your head down as you leave the shipyard, feeling a little guilty as you do. "Hey, Steeper, wait up!" Lem's voice trembles as he shouts above the rumble of the crowd. And you turn to see him pushing through, Mina crying in his arm. "Good to see you, friend." He's breathing hard after they're shouldering through the waiting workers. "You made the work team. Good for you." He tries to catch his breath, stroking Mina's hair. And as he does, "Shush, baby. Give me a second here." Smiles weakly at you as he comforts her, and her cries start to fade. Out of the crowd, he sets Mina down by his side, shiny streaks down both cheeks. As he does, you see he's clutching an assignment number on a crumpled piece of paper. "Is Mina okay?" "She's good, we just had to rush up here." Puts his hand on her shoulder and she clings to his side. Esther, who usually takes her, is sick. He stretches. "I don't know what." A noise sounds from entrance, a klaxon, followed by a list of numbers growing brightly on a display screen. The crowd responds instantly, pushing and pulling as people try to wade through the entry checkpoint. Lem stops and turns back towards the crowd, then glances down on crumpled paper. "That's my number." Shit. Mina. He starts panting the pockets on his gear and glancing around. "Go. I'll watch her." He blinks a little, staring. Thank you. He crouches to Mina. "You're gonna stay with our friend here, okay? They're going to keep you safe." And he stands back up. "Here, take her back." He shoves it into your hands. She got food. I have to go." Oh. He backs away into the crowd. "Mina, I'll be back real soon, okay? Be good." And Lem disappeared in the rolling crowd. We're now trying to get into the shipyard before it locks down. Mina stands staring, suddenly small, without Lem at her side. She fixes you with a dark-eyed stare you can't quite read. "I'm a mama robot!" "Hey, Mina." She holds the stare, unmoving. The two parallel hair tracks still glint on her cheek. "Are you okay?" She sniffs and looks down. Okay, let's take a look in the bag. You unlatch the top of the bag. You see a few metal containers fashioned from scrap components. Battered slate sits on top of a blinking low battery warning, and tucked beside it is a ragged rabbit, hand-sewn. Take the rabbit. You pull the rabbit out of the bag, its long limbs wiggling as you do. Mina goes to jump and grab it, but holds herself back. She stands and hugs herself, eyes on rabbit. What's her name?" Mina turns away and looks at the entrance to the shipyard. This isn't going well. "Let's not shake the rabbit. Let's just give her a bloody rabbit." You hold the rabbit out, and Mina snatches it from your hand. She hugs it tightly without looking away from you. "Bun," she says, staring you down, ferocious despite her size. "Hi, Bun." You move a little closer as you speak, closing the gap. "It doesn't speak," she says. She looks at you suspiciously, but her face softens a little. She wiggles Bun in front of you and then walks him up your arm and onto your shoulder where he sits. She pokes your arm a couple of times. "Are you really a robot?" "Yes, sure." It's probably easier to say just yes. So cool. Mina has more questions. Should have said no? Pfft. Lots of questions. Questions about how you breathe. Or if you rust. But before long you're talking about rabbits and what Easter, the lady who usually takes her, smells like. Or whether or not fairies live in the ice heating pipes. You pass the time like this, sitting side by side on the floor of the walkway as others pass by, sometimes talking, sometimes drawing on the slate, sometimes playing with Bun Bun, the rabbit. And this is how Lem finds you, just as both of you are, starting to yawn. He is dirty and tired, but Mina leaps up his legs and into his arms as he stumbles backwards. You two get on okay? He asks, trying to keep Mina from climbing onto his shoulders. More than okay. Mina shoots you a smile from Lem's arm. Her suspicion gone. Well. Looks like Minnie can be nice. He pokes her in the ribs, and she squeals in delight. Thank you, friend. I mean it. He gives you a warm, white smile. I owe you. Look, he glances around. It seems like Esther, the lady who usually watches her, is going to be out for a spell. If you ever have some time, I really appreciate you coming down to our place in the low end. He grins sheepishly. If you have time. But now I have to take this one to eat. He plays a biting Mina, and she giggles in response. See you, sleeper, he waves, and they stumble off down the corridor, drawing gazes from passing spacers, and Mina's laughter echoes down the corridor in bright squeals. Oh, I helped him. Okay, let's go eat. We're hungry. Why is it blinking? Okay, we need to eat food. Oh, okay, I have to come back in 4 cycles. So we can just... I don't know how to get these mushrooms. I think I need to buy a stabilizer. 100! Oh. I don't have 100 right now. Oh, I have shift mind fragment. Okay, let's sleep. Okay. We got our good dice here. What am I playing? I'm playing Citizen Sleeper. It's a very interesting game. Okay, let's leave. I am a robot or a sleeper. Oh, I have upgrades. Engineering? I can't. I can only... Oh, I had double data rewards. That's pretty good. No, I have to have 2 upgrade points. I only have 1. I don't think... Hey! Well, I've read a lot of books. But my throat, I'm not kidding. I've been reading for 3 hours or something. My throat is like... yeah. I won't be able to read for like few days. I'm very dry in my throat right now. I don't understand. I can't pick anything, but I have an upgrade point. Oh, okay. Okay, let's talk with the eye. I've done this. Dialogue reading heavy game then. Yes, it is. So I'm a sleeper, which is some kind of a robot. I landed on this ring here and I'm just trying to work and find a life. Yeah, one more cycle. Yeah, good night. I'm not sure, like 100% what I'm doing, to be honest. I'm just like trying to right now. What I'm trying to do is to get my chip out, which is this. I have to wait one more cycle, which is a night. Then I'm trying to work on this thing here as well to maybe get off world as well. So I'm aiming to fix this ship. It's a colony ship. And then I am trying to figure out how to get mushrooms. I don't know how, but there's supposed to be mushrooms here. Oh, we got money now. So I'm thinking about... Oh, here's something. I have time, but I really need to buy this stabilizer. My body is dying because I escaped the corporation that owns my body. I know I'm not on a world, but I'm on a thing. I wanna buy this. It's a stabilizer so I don't die. Like, I'm fading right now. And I'm good. Okay. As you quickly leave the surgery, eager to be away from Toshiro's glare, you notice something wrapped around the stabilizer vial, clutched tightly in your hand. You open your hand and a thin film, marked with holes and sigils, unrolls from around the vial. At one end, it has a hard metal strip, a handle. Inspect the handle. The metal handle is worn and pitted, but you can see a set of numbers imprinted into it. 207F. And then, crudely scratched into the handle at some later date, low end. You hold the cloudy film up to the light. It's perforated with an ornate pattern of holes. You can make out a word amongst the markings. Passkey. Is this an entry key for somewhere? For a moment, you consider going back to the surgery to return the key. Then quickly think better of it. Did Sabine want you to have this? Or is Toshiro passing on a message? Time to head to low end and find out. Oop, oop. Oh, plant. Bought yourself some extra time, one vial at a time. because I bought the vial. But why is it? Why am I still fading? Let's try this. But like, there's a bounty hunter or mercenary on this ring right now. He has my tracker on, and as long as I pay his bar bill, he's not gonna shoot me or take me back to the corporation that wants me back. As you push the door open, the automatic light flickers on inside the apartment. They reveal yellow plastic panels, the curved shape of a wall-mounted utility units, the details of a routine life arranged on every surface. You step inside, clicking the door shut behind. The amber light of the ancient fixture glazes everything with pale orange. The work surface holds a variety of objects indistinct in the dull lighting. A pale blue light drifts from a doorway at the end of the room. Smudges through the thin layer of dust suggest a recent, rare, and hurried visit. They trace a path to the water dispenser, the outer vase, then the cabinet still half open. On a shelf sits an empty pill case. Okay. You cross the cramped utility room, with its outer vase, dispenser, water closet towards the doorway. Through the doorway is a dark, warm room, lit only by the faint glow of a terminal screen. Oh, Haley! Inspect the room or a bunk is tucked into the wall. How are you doing? The blankets ruffled. A wall desk glitters with a row of vials and containers. A briefcase slab sits open, loaded with rows of reagents and compounds you do not recognize. In comparison, this room is clean, ordered, controlled. As you approach, there is a crackle from somewhere in the dark. Sleeper. Sabine's voice shakingly echoes through the apartment. Welcome to my home. I'm sorry I can't be there. I have had to make alternate arrangements. You hear rattling noises. Static? I'm great, thank you, Lee. I was able to record this message, but I don't dare to show my face. Something is happening within Yatanga. I no longer trust them. Their voice becomes distant, slipping behind the background noise. I have something to ask of you. I want you to get me out. Yatanga were supposed to hide me, to protect me. After everything happened, I was desperate. Then after that, I was too tired to care. A noise like waves over the recording. But I'm done with them now. I want out. Screw that. But I need insurance. Something I can hold against them. I have my suspicions, but I can't be sure. I need information. And as you know, you need me. A pause. Something clicking in the dark. So this is an interactive book with accompanying art. I think I understand. Yes. Yeah. This isn't a threat. You have to understand my position here. Another pause. I know sleepers. I have been here before. I can help you, but not with Yatanka's noose around my neck. Get me data. Get me information. Get me something that I can use against Yatanka. Then I can get out and you can get what you will need. Please. Waves of static cut into Sabina's voice. Bring it here to my terminal. I get to it when I can. You look around the tiny room and try to imagine Sabina living here. Working at the desk, sleeping in the bunk, blinking into the terminal in the dark. The recording cuts to static, filling the room with its white hiss, then silence. You sit in front of the humming terminal and hear a few keys. Sabina has left an access port open, but the rest is encrypted, locked away behind passcodes. Seems Sabina might not trust you as much as they want you to think. Who does Sabina need to hide from? And what debt do they owe to Yatanka? You try to assemble the pieces, but too many are missing. The only thing you know is that without stabilizer, your body will die. You glance at the briefcase lab on the desk. Its glass were glinting in the dark. You turn away and leave, the door clunking shut behind you. Back in the corridor, you notice a scrawled graffiti on a blade. On the opposite wall, Yatanka. You feel yourself being drawn into something you don't quite understand. Okay. So, well, we don't have any dice anyway, so... No! I did not know I had to use dice. Okay. Go to sleep. Oh, yeah. And the cycle. Okay, so what should we do? Oh, this should be finished. Okay. As you arrive, Feng comes striding towards you, taking you by surprise. Let's go, sleeper. He puts his hand on your shoulder and turns you back the way you came. Yeah, I get new dices every day. Follow. He steps into a passageway, guiding you downring towards the shipyard. Sorry for the hurry, but we have something of an opportunity. That data you ripped. Well done, by the way. He grins. Tells me Hardin is making a rare inspection of the sidereal horizon this cycle. It's the perfect chance to confront him outside of a compound he hides in. Feng takes a sharp turn onto a dimly lit side passage. Still catching up. That's a massive colony ship being built out in the shipyard. Biggest commission Havenage has ever had. Feng slows and slips into a dark service tunnel where somewhere a water pipe drips in the back. It's him, sleeper. The same Hardin hurts. Our worm ripped out decades of records that mention him by name. An entire trail of documentation from the first days of the Solheim collapse until now. He wrote out the whole thing, slipped into Havenage when it first broke off from the Union. Oh, the dices are... I use it to work. This here is the highest one. It's really safe for me to use. Like a 1s or 2s, it's 50-50 to get hurt on a job. He paces in the tunnel, hand dropping at the back of his head. I need you to understand something about Solheim, sleeper. I don't know what you know about the collapse, but it wasn't as instant as it sounds. It wasn't like Solheim was here running the station one day and the next Erlen's Union took power. Back then, Solheim knew this place was slipping away from them. As the palladium market collapses, they tried to keep the contractors here working. The pay got smaller, the cost higher. People like my parents were forced to work non-stop just to keep a berth on the station. And water in their tanks. Solheim squeezed every last worker until the accidents were coming in non-stop. And as new waves of contractors came in, desperate to work, Solheim welcomed them in, taking bribes instead of checking pilot license. The whole time Solheim was folding up. Dragged into court cases in the central system while this severed limb of a station still desperately tried to take it all it could. The riots came after the collision at Dock 2. A young pilot, his MEV overloaded with a palladium, miscalculated his trajectory and took out a section of the ring. Hundreds died, thousands panicked. My parents told me people were terrified, and the blame fell squarely on Solheim. People like to tell stories about Erlen, how he brought the factions together, spoke to the crowds, turfed out Solheim. Maybe that's true, but my mother, pregnant with me, locked herself in their MEV and welded it to the dock while my father joined the improvising crews trying to seal up the ragged edges of the gap. He never came back. Feng paused in the dark. They sealed it up though, and by the time they did, Solheim was gone, abandoning every one of us to the black apart. Feng finally turned back to you now, his eyes burning. From the Siths like Hardin, Siths who held their place, wrote it out, and slipped into the new structure like nothing had changed, standing shoulder to shoulder with those that they had exploited at every step. Feng started walking again. That's why I can't just let him strout about the shipyard. This time his past catches up with him. But how is he still alive? Clearly you don't know much about executives. The kind of power comes with certain benefits. Feng rejoins the main passageway, which is now wide and glass-roofed. Through the ceiling you see ship in mid-construction, their flanks lit by flashes of plasma torches. The vast bulk of sidereal horizon comes into view, like the ruins of toppled skyscraper lying across the ring. The entrance to the shipyard is ahead. Then grins. Let's go, show this shit had some consequences. He strides to the shipyard entrance and pushes through the door. A web of corridors lead through the complex, snatches off the sidereal horizon, always appearing through windows. It looks like the corpse of a whale, suspended, skeletal, imposing. Feng seems to know exactly where he is going, and before long you cross into a huge dry dock locked to one side of the sidereal horizon. A network of platforms and scaffolding cling to the ship's hull, filled with workers and equipment. The sound is stretched out by the vast space, so that the welding, cutting, and sealing seems to come from everywhere at once. Both you and Feng spot them at the same time. A group walking slowly across gantry, and at the front 2 men, one gesturing towards the ship and the other stick-thin, cleanly dressed with a shock of grey hair. Hardin. You and Feng say his name in unison. Feng sets up the staircase to the gantry, with you following behind. As you come to the same level, the group is passing closer. The foreman gestures to the work being done as is on the sidereal horizon's hull, and Harding nodding along. Harding Hurst! Feng shouts across the noise, taking you by surprise. His voice bounces and comes back in a rippling echo. The figures turn. Yes? Harding asks quizzically, raising an eyebrow. He glances between you and Feng, and you see his gaze lingering on your body, unsure of why a sleeper might be in this place. You are a traitor, Harding. A Solheim executive who tried to hide here amongst its victims. Feng's voice is steady and strong. You stand for everything the Eye was rebuilt in the shadow of. Everything Erling stood for, everything Havenite stands for. You have no place on this station. For a moment, stillness descends on the group, as if everyone was held in place by the rattle of construction. Hardin laughs. Well, good to meet you too. He glances around at those around him. Some are smiling, the others nervous. Are you from the systems branch, are you not? Asks Harding, inspecting Feng's clothing. Feng turns to the foreman. You need to call your security. This man is a corporate agent. The foreman glances between Feng and Hardin, his hands drumming at his sides. Hardin leans towards him and says something inaudible. The foreman nods. It's true. As you begin speaking, Hardin turns his attention at you. And what would a sleeper know about that? You accuse me of being a corporate agent. What are you if not exactly that? He looks around the group, who are already eyeing you with suspicion. You're a product of Essence Arb. You have no place in a Havenite shipyard. Who knows what signals you're sending back to your makers? A murmur of approval runs through the group. Feng holds up a stick of memory. You guessed right, I'm in systems, and I have records that link you directly to Solheim right here. He turns to the foreman again. So once again, I am asking you to take this man into custody of the shipyard. The foreman remains still. Hardin's voice is calm, measured. If you have such data, why hasn't it been submitted at a members' meeting for a proper review? He shakes his head. I have nothing to hide, unlike a man who does not announce his name, who enters my shipyard with corporate property in tow, and tries to turn my own men against me. You hear it now, the echo sounds of boots on walkways coming from all angles at once, and then settling behind you. Please, says Harding, submit the data through the correct channels, then we can talk. For now, however, you must leave. He gestures behind you to the security detail, their hands on a boxy black sidearms at their sides. Feng spits. Hardin, you shithead. You can't wriggle you out of this one. Security officer draws their weapon and levels it. Fang turns to stare him down. You look at Fang. He shakes his head and puts a hand on your shoulder. Let's go, says Fang, and he pushes through security, heading back down the walkway. Once security has walked you out the shipyard and nudged you back into the corridor, Fang picks up the pace. You try to keep up as he slips into a shadow of an entrance. Fang is grinning ear to ear. You know, Sleeper, sometimes people are exactly how you expect them to be. Something pings in his pocket and he takes it out. On a slate of web connections starts drawing itself out, stretching to a set of points around the ring. Go get him, mutters Fang. What is that? That, Sleeper, is something our worm added to Hardin's personal slate. We're tracking his outgoing messages. Fang Gring looks ghostly in the uplight of his screen. The old ways are best. Spook them good enough and they'll give the game away. He jabs at the slate and you see the web is being drawn over a map of the ring. Lines bouncing from point to point. All these dots? These are Hardin's buddies. The one he is messaging right now, and we're going to find them all. Of course Hardin isn't working alone. We need the full set or nothing. Fang glances around and slips the slates back into his pocket. Better split up for now, Sleeper, but this is exactly what we need. Good hunting. With a pat on his shoulder, Fang drifts away, back into the flow of people around the shipyard entrance. You watch him go, unsure whether to be angry or impressed. Oh, we got another upgrade point, which means we have 2. Can I do this now? Okay, wait. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let me see. Ah, that's here. Okay, so with a die, because I have a +1 in interface, because of what character I am, I can use the die number 1 or die number 3, and I have a 1, so I'm gonna use that here. Bypass that and extract the data. And we got a Yatanga data. Okay, is there another one? Here's another one. 1 or 3, we have a 3. Okay, we got one more. Well, I can go back in here and chuck in the data. I have a few. We're gonna babysit as well. And we have to buy ourselves some food. Okay. As you turn away from the terminal, the final cache of Yatanga data uploaded, the air crackles with white noise. Sleeper? Sabine's voice, weaker than before, comes through the haze. Sabine? A sigh of relief comes through the layers of noise. The call must be coming in from somewhere on the station. This has to be a short. I don't know if Yatanga are monitoring me. Their voice is hushed. Distant. You try to focus on it. The data you've been bringing in from Yatanga agents, there's something in it. I don't understand. A shrill howl rattles through the signal. This data is all gleaned from their implants, records of integration with their nervous system, performance analysis, error rates, usage data. I installed many of these implants, and I didn't enable any of these functionalities. Their voice dips under the level of the noise, like a swimmer slipping beneath the water. You listen to the waves for a few seconds before Sabina reemerges. Has to be somehow baked into the wetware's interface. And that's not all. The systems compiling this data are connected to some kind of transmission protocol. It's being broadcast. Okay. Every Atanga enforcer is equipped with black market implants, retinal enhancement, adrenaline boosters, pain suppressors. These implants are gathering data on themselves, on the enforcers' bodies, on their performance. Why? I can't tell. But I can promise you these foot soldiers have no idea this is going on. The background tone switches, dropping to a grainy rumble. If they knew, I don't imagine they would be happy with the situation. Yatanga could have a mutiny on their hands. You lean towards the terminal, straining to listen to Sabina's faint voice. I need a few cycles to pull this all together, but this might be the information I need to pressure Yannick into releasing my debt. He is one of the heads of Yatanka. They pause. It is better you don't know him. Keep it that way. Suddenly a banging echoes through the call. Sabina's voice is suddenly whispered, panicked. I have to go. Come back in 4 cycles. Then the sharp crack of disconnect and silence fills the apartment. You step back from the terminal. What does Yatanka have to gain from monitoring its own members? You try to recall what you know about the gang, but you have little to go on. You think of Toshiro, Sabina's minder. His mirrored teardrop implant set below hard eyes. What data could they be gathering? And more importantly, where are they sending it? You reflexively rub your forehead, trying to think. Can you really trust Sabine? How did they come to be Yatanga's doctor in the first place? You think of their kindness, their care, but also that glazed look of recognition that they gave you when they first met you. That look stays in your mind as you slip back out of the apartment, glancing around as you close it up and drift into corridors of the station, unable to shake the unpleasant sensation of being observed. Couldn't press that. Like I said, my voice is just breaking. I'm losing my voice due to this game. This is so much reading. Okay. So 4 cycles until we can go back there. Let's order some fungus. Okay, we're gonna babysit. We're helping him. I don't want to use the second because I could break stuff. Okay. Perk icebreaker. That's new. I don't understand this. This is something I don't understand. It says upgrades available, but I can't press shit. I can't scroll or press anything. I don't understand a lot of it. I don't either. Like I'm just playing along here. Okay, we got 2 good ones here. Okay, let's take a look. What is this? Out of office.